this is a very important strategic analysis of what's going to happen next in the aftermath of the Mueller report and the realization that's slowly sinking in across Democrats and the liberal media that they have blown it. And the deep state, of course, this is really what this podcast is about. The deep state is being destroyed by President Trump. Trump is keeping one of his big three promises, drain the swamp. And he's going to not only drain the swamp, he's going to indict the swamp and put a lot of the swamp creatures behind bars where they belong. James Comey looks like he will be facing criminal indictments. John Brennan, for sure. Now, that's what it looks like. Peter Strzok and many others will be facing criminal indictments in the coming months. Now, what's going to happen, what's likely, is that William Barr, the Attorney General, is going to trickle out these indictments over time. This is not necessarily for a political purpose, although it will serve the interests of the Trump reelection campaign for 2020, but that's not why it's being done. William Barr is not a campaign person at all. He can't be swayed into doing anything just to get somebody elected. But he also understands the importance of a stable government. Remember, William Barr he's a big government guy. And he worked for George Bush, of course. And he believes in big government. He believes in the Patriot Act. He believes in government surveillance. And so his primary job is to protect the interests of government. And that's why he's doing these indictments against deep state traders, because they threatened the stabilization of the big government system that ultimately keeps the American people enslaved. So William Barr is, in my opinion, he is not a hero. He is not a pro-liberty guy. He's a pro-government guy. And he's going to indict and seek the criminal arrest and prosecution of these deep state people to protect government. And in order to do that, he's going to trickle these indictments out over time, because it would be destabilizing to the government to have all these people arrested at once. It would look like a counter coup. It would look destabilizing. So mark my words, you're going to see these indictments, but not all at once. Now, the next important subject here is that the deep state realizes it's caught, it's busted. And these deep state traders who served in the FBI, who ran the FBI, and they served in the DOJ, and they leaked to the media, and they were hired by CNN and so on. I mean, let's face it, the deep state and the left-wing media are one and the same. There's no dividing line between them anymore. But they realize they're busted. Now the mechanism is in place that indicates it's only a matter of time before these people are exposed and even indicted, imprisoned. The Democrat Party is effectively destroyed by this. The left-wing media is destroyed. They're going to start seeing a mass exodus of advertisers over the next, 10 months or so, by the way, because it will be revealed how the media was complicit in this, especially CNN and the Washington Post. Those two are going to suffer enormous credibility losses that will translate into advertiser losses as well. But as all of this is coming out, remember, it's William Barr's job to protect government. So William Barr will never say something like the FBI is corrupt. He'll never say the DOJ is corrupt. He will say it's these nefarious individuals who plotted to carry out a political coup. It's these individuals, not the institutions. That's going to be key. But these individuals really are only part of the problem. Just for the record, the institutions are corrupt. Yes, the FBI is corrupt. Yes, the DOJ is corrupt. Yes, the entire system of law and order in America has essentially been abandoned by almost everyone. The judges are corrupt. They don't follow the law. The media is corrupt. They don't engage in journalism. I could go on and on. Every institution, even the FDA, the DEA, the FTC, the ATF, they're all corrupt, right? This is This is what people have come to realize. But the deep state, this is the point that I'm sorry it took me so long to get to this. The deep state realizes that in order for it to survive, it's now going to have to cause so much chaos for America and chaos for the Trump administration that William Barr and the DOJ won't even be able to effectively prosecute deep state officials. In other words, the deep state now has the motivation, the motive, so to speak, in a criminal context, to start a let me just say it, a war with Russia. Okay, if they can get Russia to attack Ukraine, or if they can get Russia to attack the continental United States in some way, or if they can get some kind of international war going, then that's a win for the deep state, because that would serve as such a distraction that the deep state operatives might survive as the Trump administration and the DOJ are busy dealing with national defense. They literally, at this point, they want to thrust America into global warfare as a means to survive what's coming. Note that these deep state traitors like James Comey, I believe that James Comey would sacrifice millions of American lives to save his own reputation. I believe that these individuals are sociopathic. They are mentally ill. They are villains. And they are egomaniacs. James Comey thinks he's like a savior, a godlike figure. And Barack Obama, the same thing. Now, Barack Obama is complicit in all of this. Barack Obama gave the okay. Barack Obama had the oversight over all this. He was briefed on all of it. And he committed treason in so many ways. I've mentioned them in previous podcasts, but they'll come up again. All of this leads to Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. And if William Barr actually wants to pursue where this goes, he may follow it all the way to the top of the Obama administration. Notably, Barack Obama, under the current agreement between the Trump people and the Bush people and the deep state people that I've mentioned before, Barack Obama is not going to be indicted under the current agreement. But if William Barr uncovers so much evidence that the prosecution of Barack Obama cannot be avoided, for example, if one of the people that gets indicted ends up publicly testifying and saying, Obama ordered me to do this, Obama ordered me to spy on Trump officials, if something goes public like that, that's so damning against Obama that it cannot be ignored, then William Barr would have no choice but to prosecute Barack Obama or to seek his indictment or even impeachment. Yes, a president can be impeached after they are out of office. And we may, although it's a small chance, but there's a slight chance that we might see America's first post-office impeachment of a president. However, the most likely scenario is that Obama and Hillary Clinton will go free, and that it will be the underlings, it will be the James Comeys, the Peter Strzok's, the James Clappers, the Andrew McCabe's of the world, Loretta Lynch, Sally Yates, and others who will actually be indicted. But make no mistake that the deep state is willing to do absolutely anything at this point to assure their own survival, including starting a war with Russia if they can, or carrying out nuclear terrorism. There is no doubt in my mind that they would be willing to nuke a U.S. city if it got them off the hook. Even if it gave them a chance of escaping indictments, they would be willing to do that. They would unleash a biological weapon in America. They would kill millions of people. This is my analysis of who these people are. They are psychopaths. They will commit mass murder. They will do anything. I mean, look at how the left has already pushed us much closer to war with Russia in order to try to demonize Trump. They've said that any meeting with any Russian official is collusion with Russia. Well, that's nonsense. Every administration has to meet with Russian officials. It's called diplomacy. You talk to your adversaries in the geopolitical landscape. And if you don't talk to them, you risk war. You risk conflict. It's open communication that avoids World War III. But the left doesn't want to avoid World War III. They have made it practically a criminal act for any Trump administration official to talk to any Russian official, thereby hampering the ability of America and Russia to communicate and try to de-escalate tensions that might rise up out of certain situations around the world. So the left, the Democrats, have already attempted to push America into war with Russia. They have demonized Trump and demonized Russia at the same time. And I think Paul Craig Roberts is right on this point. He says we should thank Putin. We should thank Putin for showing restraint, that many other leaders would have already attacked the U.S. at this point in Europe, as the U.S. is moving missile bases closer and closer to Russia's lands. And many world leaders would have already had counterstrikes against that. But Putin has not. And Putin has tried to communicate with the United States, even as his country is being literally surrounded by mobile missile launchers across much of Europe, by the way. It's incredible how much is not reported in the U.S. media and how ignorant the average U.S. media consumer is. Someone who just watches CNN or just listens to NPR, for example. They have no idea what's happening and how American forces are boxing in Russia right now, and also with economic sanctions that affect Russia as well. So Russia has exercised tremendous restraint. But if deep state players now who are facing criminal indictments in the United States, if they still do have contacts with the Russians, they have contacts with, diplomats and spies all over the world. If they could convince Russia or anyone to carry out a nuclear attack or a biological attack or a chemical weapons attack against the United States in a way that would spark international conflict, then that would serve the interests of the deep state in helping them attempt to avoid prosecution by William Barr. So we've entered a danger zone, is my point. A danger zone where all of our lives are now, from the point of view of the globalists, these deep state globalists, all of our lives are expendable as long as they protect themselves. And if you think about it, the deep state is at war with humanity. And President Trump is leading the counterattack by humanity to try to defeat these deep state operators and take back our world from these insane sociopathic tyrants who have been running everything for many, many decades. I mean, it's the Obamas, it's the Clintons, it's the Bushes. I mean, these are all former intelligence people, or in the case of Obama, Marxists, socialists. Well, Marxism is actually a pretty good, probably the best description for Obama. In the case of Hillary Clinton, a corrupt criminal mafia type globalist. These people have been running our world for decades. And so far they've gotten away with it. There hasn't been a president until Trump who was willing to stand up and challenge that deep state system and expose them, and even now arrest some of them. Trump is the first person to do that. And frankly, we should count our blessings that there is a man named Donald Trump who was willing to risk everything to try to make America a more just place, to try to make America more of a law and order country. I mean, Trump risked his life. They will kill him if they get the chance. Trump has risked his family, his business, everything, his reputation, his legacy, all the money that he ever earned, everything. They've attempted to destroy him. And of course, they've destroyed his reputation in the minds of half of America. And they will continue to do that. But Trump is sacrificing his own life, his own reputation, his own money in order to try to do something good for America. And that means going to war with the deep state. And for 2.5 years, I guess it's going on 3 years now, They have done everything to try to annihilate Trump in the media, to try to destroy his reputation, to try to catch him on something criminal, to fabricate false evidence against him with the Trump dossier, to call him a traitor, to even try to get him arrested and convicted of treason, which carries the death sentence. This is what the deep state has done to Trump. And we know who did this. It's people like John Brennan. It's people like Andrew McCabe. It's people like James Clapper, all led by Barack Obama. And it's the order-taking minions like James Comey and others who carried this out. We know who the evil people are. But these evil people, they are not used to having their power challenged. All they've known is winning. They've always been able to defeat their enemies, to target their selected political opponents and destroy them. They've been able to do so with impunity for decades. And this idea that they might now be held accountable for their actions is so alien to them, they don't even recognize the possibility of it. That's why they lie with impunity. They go on the media and they just lie because they've never been caught before. They've been able to just claim national security secrets to hide all their lies and hide the trillions of dollars in money that they all have in their own offshore accounts because they've embezzled money from the government. These people are high-level criminal villains. They are some of the most evil people in the history of our country and in the modern world. And Trump is the first person to try to stop them. The first person. And so far, just the fact that he's still alive is a victory. That he has survived this whole Mueller effort to destroy him, that's a major victory for Trump. And it's a huge failure for Democrats and the deep state. And that's why they are now becoming incredibly desperate, because they've never faced defeat before, and they can't even fathom the idea that many of their people are going to go to prison, that some of them may be facing charges of sedition or perhaps something like treason. They can't even imagine this. It's just, this possibility never occurred to them that this could ever happen. So they're freaking out and they're willing to do anything. So to summarize, be safe, watch things carefully. This is the time, this is the red flag zone, false flag zone, I guess, when these desperate, cornered deep state operatives are willing to do anything to protect themselves. They're willing to start a war with Russia. They're willing to set off a nuke in a U.S. city. They're willing to try to assassinate the president. They're willing to unleash mass social unrest with left-wing, violent Antifa minions, whatever it takes, anything. They will kill millions if it keeps them in power. And don't for a minute think that that's not the way these people operate. They are heartless. They are psychopathic. They are pure evil. They're on a power trip like the world has never seen. And they're willing to do anything. So stay informed on all of this. Read my website, newstarget.com or naturalnews.com. This is Mike Adams here, the Health Ranger, Trump supporter, praying for America. And you better get ready. Get yourself armed up. Exercise your Second Amendment rights for self-defense. Be ready for anything to happen. Be ready for massive election fraud. Be ready for impeachment efforts against Trump. Be ready for an assassination attempt against Trump, because they're going to try all these things and more, anything to protect themselves from being prosecuted. Thanks for listening. Take care. When you support us, we keep fighting for America. We keep fighting for your liberty, fighting for your natural health, for disease prevention, for education and knowledge about how to be healthy and how to live a productive, happy life. Support us at healthrangerstore.com. Over 700 products, lab tested, clean, ultra clean, the cleanest offered anywhere in the world. healthrangerstore.com. Check it out. Support our mission and help enhance and protect your health at the same time. Thank you for watching. If you want to support our mission, visit us at healthrangerstore.com for the world's largest selection of lab-verified superfood and nutritional products for healthy living. It's at healthrangerstore.com.